paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Get ready to start learning VV, mother.
I was gonna say,
Well, actually-
you get to learn.
Yeah, for
Two
what
cards.
it's worth, I'm somewhat familiar. I did social for the championship, so like familiar with that. But like I'm doing commentary for the like. Ugh.
I mean, I actually think that the standard format has like 4 decks right now. It's just that 3 of them are meaningfully worse than the best one.
I don't know how representative the championship was, but it certainly
not.
set the narrative. Like that's the deck I would have played in that event too.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
you
these
don't,
online
like,
tournaments,
They're
they don't
so small,
incentivize. They don't incentivize anything except for playing the most consistent, powerful thing. Like the one time that Reed Duke brought Boggles to Worlds or whatever, like that isn't even the right strategy for those kind of tournaments.
For the most part, yeah. And welcome into
Like, it
Brainstorm
worked
Brewery,
out.
everybody. We may as
Yeah.
well start at the top with Vivi and Cauldron because that's where Standard is at. I covered the Arena Championship last week. I'm covering the NRG this weekend. There's a lot of it going on, but to the point you're jumping in here on with us, Worlds is a great example, as well as this Arena Championship tournament. Like, and I don't want anyone to interpret what we're saying here as carrying water for a bad format or anything like that, right? Like, it just mathematically makes sense that when you don't know what necessarily what other people are going to be bringing or what they're bringing might look like exactly in such a large stakes tournament, because this had half the prize pool of a pro tour, and it was, if I have those numbers correctly, and it was like 37 people in it.
Yeah.
Top 2 qualified for Worlds. There were also pro tour invites attached to it. Like,
It was pretty
just
top
a
heavy.
massive value tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, you of course you're going to play that deck. That doesn't mean that it won't. I mean, it will probably still be the best deck and by a wide margin. But speaking in a general sense, that is not the end all be all. Is to say that because it was 50% of this meta, it will be 50% of all the meta moving.
And that's why this podcast is brought to you by results-oriented thinking. You should always base your decisions based on what you see in front of you and not the logic and rules that govern the universe. You should just put the blinders on, stick to what you see, stick to what you believe, and it'll all work out. And they sponsor us, so you should spend your money at results-oriented thinking. I'm sure that's a Silicon Tech Valley company. I'm sure there's something called
No
that
shot there isn't, yeah.
Sure. Well,
somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't know what they advocate or believe in or offer in terms of product or services, but like, yeah, you should, even if there's not a company that is that, you should only base your magic decisions and life decisions and family planning around results-oriented thinking.
You know
And
what?
you know-
I checked his math and the results checked out.
It's funny too because like people are going like a tournament is going to be won by like Esper Pixie or something. People are going to be like,
Right.
"Hey guys, look, Esper Pixie's good." People will use results-oriented thinking to get them to the other conclusion also. When in reality, like the Vivi deck is probably the best deck by a pretty decent margin.
That was really
Oh,
loud.
bro, are those keys?
Really loud. He's jingling shiny coins in front of us.
Yeah,
Do I have
it's
that
like
right? Yeah.
it's one of those things where I think this format's not great. I think that the decision to not ban anything in like an emergency capacity, it kind of just has to be what they do because they said that's what they would do. And I feel like if they did ban something, they'd get yelled at for the other reason. And maybe the Esper Pixie deck turns out to be way better, or maybe people bring enough hate for, is it? Like, don't get me wrong. The situation is not good for anybody involved. I think that if you are on WotC's side and your goal is to get yelled at as little as possible with any chance of salvation, the correct move is to not ban something.
We've had bad formats before. Magic is
Yeah.
due for some bad formats in Standard.
Well, they've been bad for a while.
Say we just banned a bunch of cards. So on the one hand, you could say, well, what's one more at this point? On the other hand, everyone playing RCQ season has probably bought their Vivies and Cauldrons by now, and you're going to burn a ton of players if you do that. To Cass's point, they said
What
that
better way
this
to
is when we're going to
introduce
look.
Final Fantasy players to the game than to give them the old kneecap, than to just
The correct card to
snap
ban if you're
their
going to ban
little
something.
ankles.
The correct card to ban from this deck if you're going to ban something is Agatha's Soul Cauldron, because that card is so fundamentally dangerous to print in a 3-year standard environment situation. That card's dangerous to print at all.
Well,
that card is not okay.
Like, it literally was the backbone of an entire modern combo deck. How, like, to me, it's like
It's
the Felidar
legacy
Guardian.
play.
Yeah, it's the Felidar Guardian thing. Like, and I don't want to, but you're supposed to have a checklist of cards that, like, this is what they said when Felidar Guardian and Saheeli just didn't get caught. They said, oh, well, we're putting this effect on our internal checklist when new cards come out to check against these kinds of effects in the format. And, like, that's what Cauldron was supposed to be. Like, you should have looked at everything printed under the lens of what if it gets pitched under a Cauldron. And, like, even still, this is a special case. But I think you could have seen your way. Like, PV played this deck at the World Championship, or at the last Pro Tour. It went 8-2. You banned everything that was better than it. It's possible you could have got around to banning Cauldron there, but I think you're right in this situation now. I think you're supposed to stick to what you said you were going to do for the people who spent money based on those decisions, but it is going to be ugly in the meantime. And I'm covering the event in Orlando, the Planetary Spotlight, and I'm really hoping that, obviously, when I'll be there, I'll be featuring a lot of things that are not Izzet as much as possible to highlight, and hopefully some of them do well at beating Izzet, but we'll see. That deck is powerful.
As somebody who doesn't play Standard, and as somebody who is advocating for the 98% of our listeners who don't play Standard, is the Izzet Cauldron stuff at least interesting gameplay-wise, or is it just a slog? Because, like,
it's pretty cool.
Bad meta games where it's like Stoneforge versus Stoneforge in Standard with Jace is very interesting. There's like there's decisions, there's deck tech choices, there's small little modifications you can make that are very deeply affect your skill level and your performance. And then there's just like Aether Flux Marvel metagames where you just
spin the wheel.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of what you said, in my opinion, applied to the last format a little bit. Like, there was a lot of play to the Izzet mirrors, and people didn't like that. I just think that the Magic player base, or at least the discourse around it, is so fundamentally different than the days when we would all go, well, you can really optimize your Callblade win percentage, and that makes it awesome. Like, while we may think that's true, that is not how it works. Like, that is not how the Magic community interacts with the game.
I have Callblade mirrors built, like a 60-card identical Callblade mirror, and I hand it to Zoomers, and they're like, this Magic is boring. Because the cards don't do anything.
Yeah.
You cannot say that about the Izzet Cauldron deck. All the cards do everything all the time, and that's kind of why it's miserable. But it's also it's like a firecracker that blows up in your hand. It's really a spectacular sight, but man, it sucks afterwards.
Well, and like, it can go off at any time, essentially. So, like, there's always this tension.
The firecracker or the deck?
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. Like, it's not like, is it a slog or is it exciting? It's kind of both. Because when anyone can go off at any time, what you do is make sure that the other person can't go off. And that means you end up at the Arena Championship. People were siding out their Vivies because it just became a hindrance to have to, like, worry about Vivi going to your opponent's Cauldron. And they were just beating down with Makos, right? Like, so it is interesting, exactly in the way that I think Cobblade was interesting. And I don't think that people are going to like it.
Yeah.
So we just need to I have a way to fix this. If we play that mirror, but if you're under the age of 30, you get to have Subway Surfer on the board at the same time.
What is Subway Surfer?
So there's a very
Google it,
common There's a common trend on TikToks to have like a video and then a second video beneath someone playing a mobile game. So you can really ADHD max.
Okay, yep. Overload maxing.
One of my favorite photographs I've ever seen is somebody clearly at a funeral holding a phone with Subway Surfers, like looking over the phone to watch the funeral, and it's like, honestly, I kind of get it.
Stem
would have wanted me to get this level.
Dude, all these Zoomers are just out here stem maxing.
Well, I mean, I feel like in this world, their dopamine receptors have to be so fried. They all just have like situational depression to the max.
Our brains are not made for the world. They're just literally, truly not.
We're just mainlining stimulation.
Yeah, like not to like be sad, but like human brains are not meant to conceive to watch a genocide on their phone and then go to the customer service counter. Like that's not how your brains. It doesn't work.
Human beings were meant to maybe meet like 30 or 40 people, maybe a traveling merchant once or twice. And if you were really, really lucky, it's possible that a wizard would visit your town. And like, we were meant to die knowing maybe 50 souls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and on that note, it's time for Brainstorm Brewery, everybody. Welcome into the show. Cass, DJ, and I are here back. Maybe we'll do one of those extended, like I've been watching Pablo Torre Finds Out, a great podcast, by the way. He has 2 intros. He's got like a banger clip at the beginning and then like a dun-dun-dun, that kind of thing. And then like a longer like context of that and then the true intro. So I think that's where we're at now with me introducing the 3 of us.
Corbin, you're only doing 2 intros on your podcast. I'm doing 4.
Oh, he's intro maxing over there. Yeah,
I'm spinning my intros as a cube in my head.
Our podcasts are just built different. Welcome into the show, everybody. We're going to talk a lot about what's going on with new Magic stuff right now. Final Fantasy, that is so last month. Now it's time for Edge of Eternities and also Spider-Man and also Avatar.
I think it's time for Avatar. I think that's the one I've heard the most about recently.
Of course, why not?
I
think it comes
here last week when I railed Corbin for not having any sort of cultural viewpoint.
You railed Corbin last week?
Yeah, that's what I got out of that.
This podcast went Fujo mode without me?
I got railed last week, it seems.
Wow.
He's right though.
I contain multitudes.
I didn't know that. And I didn't know that Avatar was a thing you were supposed to know was special, not just like a thing, right? And also, further to my point, I don't know how you're supposed to know that you're supposed to know that.
Corbin, you're like 36, right?
That is close. I'm 37.
37, okay. I think you are like firmly 5 years too old to appreciate Avatar. Like
that is
DJ
100% correct.
Are the exact age, like we are the prime market for Avatar. People like 3 years younger than us think it's like probably a little bit different, and like people 3 years above us like are kind of. There's a 6-year band basically where we are the target demographic for Avatar: The Last Airbender, and like we love that. We love. I was
trying to explain to DJ, and he's like, "It's this huge cultural moment. You just have to be aware of it." I'm like, "Okay," but like to me, it was just like into everyone I knew, it was just a good cartoon. I don't know.
Not having like watched it as a kid and missing that boat. I don't understand the not understanding how big of a thing it is to that generation, because like I understand like that Roblox is big and Roblox is not my thing. Like I know it is seeped through to my consciousness from just osmosis of like, oh, this is that generation's thing, like, or Minecraft or whatever.
After Korra, Nickelodeon did a pretty good job trying to shut Avatar: The Last Airbender down as a thing because it just like didn't really fit with their brand anymore. Like I can see how somebody would have missed it.
And it's not that we didn't know it existed, but DJ's like, it was this huge cultural moment. It did things that have never been done before. It changed the landscape forever.
I think that is true for people in that 6-year age band.
Exactly. Like
I will also say, Corbin, you should watch it. You should watch the 3 seasons of Avatar. It's super worth it. The first season's kind of worse than the rest, but also still really good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I'm not opposed to it. Like the thing is, I basically watch what my 9-year-old watches, so there's a non-zero chance we could get there.
Yeah. You have some Avatar cards in the house. Get him excited about it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I got my Sonic cards in finally, and he was kind of meh on it. He's just not huge in on it at the moment. He is watching Wednesday right now on Netflix.
I'm really surprised at how much... Who makes that? I actually don't know.
Apparently Tim Burton directed it. Hey,
it really is surprising to me that they're trying to make that like a cultural, like they're trying to like make that a brand, when I feel like it's not really amenable to that. I feel like the Addams Family as a concept isn't
like if we're
super
talking
brandable.
like, oh, you missed the 6-year age gap. Well, you missed the 40-year age gap on this one. Like, what are we doing?
What do you mean?
Like, I just feel
like the 1900s.
And to be clear, I like the Addams Family.
You're asking if Wednesday is from the 1900s,
no,
DJ?
The Addams Family.
Oh, I don't know. I guess
it's like a black and white TV show, right?
Yeah, it's what Wednesday is based on.
I don't
Wednesday
know.
Addams.
Yeah.
But like, it was always kind of those things where like I feel like it was popular, but it wasn't.
Okay,
Like, I
Ben
feel like
popped
it's
in
so.
to tell you that it was released in 2024. Just so you know. Just so you know. To me,
I know that Wednesday is the new one, but it's based
I
on
know.
a black and white TV show that my mom watched.
are you sure? Are you sure you're not thinking of the Munsters?
Positive. Addams Family first aired on September 18th, 1964.
I grew up with the Munsters. The Addams Family, to me, I only knew from the movies with whatever the guy's name is.
Get fact checked.
What I'm saying is like,
No
I
one's-
feel like Wednesday Addams is such a weird character to hone in on to have be like a new big brand thing because I see stuff about it constantly. Like it's so
It's just a
they're
good
pushing
show,
it
I
so
think.
hard.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Like, yeah. So what are they supposed like? This is why most. I mean, this is like. Yeah. I mean, what are they supposed to do? How they had a hit. Now they're going to try to milk it for everything it's worth.
No, for sure. It's just surprised me that's the direction they took, and I'm glad it worked for them. I don't know. It seems cool. Like, I thought Addams Family was awesome when I was younger.
The
It's just a
song was
surprise.
always the thing, right? Like the song was always one of those things. Like they'd use at summer camp or whatever to get everybody to stop talking and pay attention. Everyone does the Addams Family song with the snaps. It's very, very catchy.
It is. It is.
All right,
Catchy.
let's talk legacy a little. I got that in these notes, dear Cass. You are clued in on legacy. We are certainly not. What's up with legacy right now?
So Legacy's kind of in the same place it's been for a while. Turns out the blue reanimators meta share kind of keeps dropping. The deck is not as oppressive as everyone thought. It's still very good. There's a bunch of decks kind of in like the 6% meta share. Really, Legacy is built around the cards Ancient Tomb and Underground Sea right now. Those are sort of the two kinds of decks at the top, with sort of your traditional Delver strategies and then Oops All Spells kind of waiting on the wings. But really, my rant today is one that I've alluded to before on this cast, and it's that the red Stompy deck is the worst Magic the Gathering deck I have ever seen people think is good. People think this deck is so strong. It's got like 16 red sources for a mono red deck, 4 of which are Spirit Guides, 4 of which are Chrome Moxes, 6 of which are MDFCs that you like have to pitch to your Chrome Mox half the time. The deck can't beat a Wasteland or an Orcish Bowmasters. It's a mono red deck with like Pyroblast in the sideboard sometimes. They cannot beat the card Orcish Bowmasters.
That sums up me not knowing anything about legacy. I'll say that because
the games that
those
you
are
win,
words.
the games that you win, you play a Broadside Bombardiers on turn 1, and then your opponent doesn't do anything for 2 turns. Like, it's just trying to chalice check people, like just chalice on one go or whatever, in a format where that's the weakest it's ever been.
Yeah.
I won a game at Eternal Weekend last year because my opponent did 18 damage to himself, and my Orcish Bowmaster that I played from hand killed him. Just like Ancient Tombs, 6 of your mana sources require you to bolt yourself to come in untapped. The One Ring is in the deck. Like, don't get me wrong, Pyroglyph is really strong. Magus of the Moon still wins games.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a Magus of the Moon Urza Saga deck now under the new rules change is wild too.
True. Well, that
they
is Eternal Weekend's coming up, right? Is that what's prompting
It is.
this? Yeah.
Yes, I've been playing a lot of Legacy again. As someone who beat up on Red Prison a lot last year while playing blue decks, this year I'm playing Mystic Forge, and I'm still crushing them because I'm just a faster Ancient Tomb deck. I don't know why people think this deck is good. It doesn't really do well in challenges very often, but it 5-0s a lot of leagues, which leads me to believe it's in the category of decks that you can play a lot of matches with very quickly, which juices its numbers.
That is a very good point. Like someone sent me a cool standard deck to play the other day, and I looked at it, and its main plan seemed to be winning a very, very, very long game with 1/1 tokens. And I didn't even try it because why would I? I'm not trying to do that on Arena.
Corbin, did you have Subway Surfer up though?
I did not. Maybe if I had some Subway Surfing, it would have been better. I don't know.
You would have been able to look over there, see what's
I
going
guess so.
on. Did you have a YouTube video in the third monitor?
Well, see, this is the problem with the One Piece thing, right? Is that when I'm at my computer, I can't, like, I'm sure it's a fine second monitor activity, but I can't do that as when I'm working or even when I'm playing games. I don't want that as my second monitor activity. So it just doesn't really fit.
Yeah. One more note for Legacy. The Mystic Forge deck, I think, is the most expensive Legacy deck I've ever played. It's kind of ridiculous how a deck with no duels is so expensive, but it's like...
Because you're playing 4 Candelabras, and that's a 40 set of duels.
Oh,
basically.
well, that'll
only
do
one
it.
Candelabra.
Oh, okay.
It's 1 Candelabra, 4 Grim Monoliths, 4 City of Traders, and Ancient Tombs are still like $100. Like, there are
Yeah.
multiple play sets up, like there's 4 One Rings. It's just... I've never actually looked at a legacy deck price and been like, wow, that is shocking how expensive it is. Because they've all kind of been like the 3 to 4K range for the blue decks, and then like 2 for the stompy decks. I don't know. It's just wild that Candelabra is seeing legacy play. It's wild that Grim Monolith and City of Traders are both so expensive. And I've even seen somebody playing a version of the deck with Lion's Eye Diamond, and that deck is almost $9,000 if you put all those things into it.
Jesus.
You know what
We
that
haven't seen
means?
legacy deck be that expensive ever, right? Like
You
even
know what that
lands when it
means?
was. What's that mean, Corbin?
We can name that deck over 9,000.
The over $9,000 solution.
You're the guy in charge of killing all the cool deck names. That's
Oh,
your
yeah.
job, is to kill cool deck names.
I'll be honest. I view my job.
You get paid to make it so that people can't name their deck after breakfast cereals.
I view my job in that regard to work with players to find cool deck names that pass muster for both the environment in which they have to exist in and what players want. For example, I was the reason we got Blue Steel as a deck name because I sat there and told Zach that whatever his original deck name was would not be allowed on coverage. And so we workshopped a new one.
The actual
Blue
answer
Steel?
is, it's a reference to Zoolander, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like his modeling face.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I didn't
But it
come
was-
up with the deck name or
I
anything,
also
but like,
don't know what the magic deck is.
I could have just named that deck whatever artifacts. Oh, you don't know what the
Mono
deck
blue
is,
artifacts.
DJ? Wow. What?
I mean, like, if you say mono blue artifacts, I think of like Grand Architect Tron. Like, what are we?
That's
talking
what it was, Grand Architect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like, but also, I don't know what that deck means is the whole reason we went away from that in the first place.
The real joke is that we need Universes Beyond Dragon Ball to print a Dragon Ball artifact that goes in the Mystic Forge decks that we can justify
Yep.
calling it over 9,000.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's go back to some other. We promised we talk about new sets, not just old stuff.
Yes.
So here is a Mark Rosewater quote I find interesting and worth sharing. Mark Rosewater has said that in the last year, Bloomburrow, Duskmourn, Tarkir Dragonstorm, and Final Fantasy and Edge of Eternities all exceeded expectations. So I know that for all the talk about Universes Beyond we do, and this is what I want to this is what I take out of that when I see that. And also he said that Edge of Eternities is doing very well and that Final Fantasy by contrast did very, very well. So whatever, parse that for how you will. To me, there's been a lot of talk of this idea of tourism in Magic, right? Like your Sonic fans are not going to stick around. Your Final Fantasy fans are not going to stick around. And we talked about arena numbers on the podcast showing more player base, but also I think like from Mark Rosewater's own words, like giving us some insight into their sales, that is a lot of in-universe sets exceeding expectations. And the only possible conclusion I think you can draw from any of this is that a lot more people are playing Magic, just straight up. Is so that's where I'm at on that after reading over a lot of discourse and Mark Rosewater weighing in on it.
So I think that is largely true, Corbin. I also am forced to wonder, is Edge of Eternity's success partially a result of people who saw the success of Final Fantasy and now think that Magic is like Pokemon? And I don't think that's substantial, but I think that is something worth keeping an eye on as like one of the factors in the future.
Yeah.
That said, the number of people at local game stores around here who like, I ran into a guy who plays Legacy. He plays like 4-color Yorion Beans. Got into Magic with Final Fantasy. And was just
shit.
like, yeah, this game's really cool. And like just plays a random Final Fantasy card in his Beans deck every week or whatever. Like,
Sure.
I think that's
Why not?
awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think that we've talked about this before, right? The Pokemonification of Magic, blah, blah, blah. I think that this is, again, my read on this. I watched Spider-Man collector booster boxes go from $500 or $600, whatever, a couple weeks ago, to up to $800 or $900 now. I think that's the Pokemon crowd coming in. I think collector booster boxes are just the new ETBs to that crowd. I don't think that is. That's not making into the Flood Maw $7 uncommon. It's not making all these other uncommons into $5. Like that can only be explained by like base versions of cards like that by people playing the game.
It's Magic is beginning to do so. It is Pokemonification, but I think it's a positive thing. Pokemonification positive. In Pokemon, if you want to build the deck that just won Worlds, it's like $60 or $70 maybe, like if that. But if you wanted to play that same deck with all of the collector versions of it, the deck's like $5,000.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
and I yeah, and to another point, I do see people still like, and there's a lot of discourse of what of the idea of what makes Magic cards expensive or not expensive. Like collector booster boxes are making the base versions of your cards that you just want to play with as a player less expensive, right? That is objectively good for players. Okay. That said, cards are still obviously ridiculously expensive, despite Wizards having mostly adopted the Pokemon model to try to drive down prices in that way. And it comes back to like Pokemon is, in my opinion, a collectible game that you can play. And Magic is a game that is hugely populated by players versus collectors. And that is why even the base versions of cards are just expensive because people just want them.
And because when you tell somebody that they can play Magic at an affordable price, they don't want to play the Magic that you're talking about. They want to play the kind of Magic that they envision as being the most fun, which is playing with the absolute best cards that they see other people playing because their phone is telling them that other people are having more fun than them. Like you can buy bulk commons and like even the number of bulk rares that used to be $10 like 10 years ago. If you give somebody $100 and say, go build a Magic the Gathering deck that is this format legal, do the best you can, your bang for your buck goes so much harder nowadays than it does 10 years ago.
Well, certainly in Commander or whatever, at least.
And like, it's just how it works is that your dollar value is so much stronger now comparatively for power level, but like, you don't want to, you being this like artificial scapegoat I have created, like don't want this Magic that is just you jamming games with your friends. It's the same reason like 10 years ago I would argue with people who were saying like Legacy's not affordable, and it's like, oh, Legacy's affordable, have you tried Moto? Well, no. Well, it's affordable. Have you tried proxying and jamming games with your friends? No. Oh, so you want to play competitive paper Legacy tournaments? Yes, that is expensive. All the other things you're talking about are not expensive, but this specific luxury version of the luxury good, that's the expensive one you want to play. I see. Understood.
I think
Very
there are
accurate,
people who
DJ.
there are people who are upset about the prices of base versions of Final Fantasy cards. Like Vivi is a $30 to $40 card.
Yeah.
And it turns out that when a card is both strong and cool and one of the most popular characters of all time and one of the most popular intellectual properties of all time, a lot of demand for that one. I'm actually surprised that Vivi is as cheap as he is.
The price has been so flat since it came out, right in that $40 to $50 range
And that's
or whatever.
surprising to me.
Me too, because Soul Cauldron, for instance, went crazy spiking with this deck, and Vivi hasn't moved at all. And I don't know exactly what to make of that, other than, well, maybe a lot of players already had Vivi specifically because of playing Is It last season or whatever. But also, like, maybe that means that unlike Soul Cauldron, a lot of the price that's built in for Vivi is not based on strictly standard or, as we want to just say, competitive play.
Well, I actually think I think Vivi is stayed as flat as he is because of how much collector product people are opening, how much people are just opening Final Fantasy because they like Final Fantasy. Like the thing we were talking about of the IP being popular, making the playables cheaper. Like, when was the last time somebody opened the Wilds of Eldraine box and was excited about it? Wilds of Eldraine release weekend?
Tyleristic study, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you mean like
and it's
a regular box or like a collector box?
We'll say regular box because we're talking about the regular playable versions, right?
Yeah, okay.
I know a lot of people who couldn't afford a Final Fantasy collector box, so they bought a play box, and guess what? They opened a $40 Vivi, and they're like, "Oh, that's awesome! I got a Vivi." But these things are actually keeping the prices flat. Like Vivi being a flat price and Cauldron not being is demonstrating this difference between, if some people are just opening Magic sets because they're Magic cards or whatever to play with. The only thing that matters is the text on the card.
Right.
I also want to address something that I don't think anybody has talked about on this podcast, at least. I'm sure that somebody on a Magic podcast has talked about it because monkeys and typewriters. But if you look at the whole Final Fantasy set, there's how many clouds? Like 4 or 5? There's like 3 or 4 Sephiroths between like Atraxa and like the mono black one and the intro deck one. There's like 5 Tifas, and each Tifa has like 5 versions. There's only one Vivi. There is Vivi, Orna, whatever, Ornithir, and then technically there's Vivi's Thunder Magic and a Secret Lair. But like they knew what they were doing by if you want the character Vivi, there's no $1 Vivi. There's no uncommon Vivi. Vivi, VVV. It's just Vivi. This one, and that's intentional. That is the collector part of the, hey, if you want to get the gang together, if you want the set, you got to get the rare one. You can't just get the $1 version of every single party member and call it a day. They did intentionally make a chase card that is both a chase power level card and a chase collectability card. That is a feature, not a bug.
Oh, they've been doing that since 1993? Oh,
yeah.
That's weird.
It's crazy. The more things change. On this topic of popular IPs sort of driving new demand in Magic, we kind of touched on this before. Is there an IP bigger than Final Fantasy that Magic could partner with?
Yes.
I have one in my mind, but I want to hear what you two have to say first.
I mean, I think that there's some low-hanging fruit there to say like Star Wars or something. And I don't know, like, what is the average spend of a Star Wars fan versus the average spend of a Final Fantasy fan or whatever, but like, well, and that's what, like, it's just,
I think Star Wars could.
It's just the biggest IP. I don't know. I mean, obviously Pokemon.
So I think, and you know, I say this because 2 of the most recent partnerships, 3 maybe even, SpongeBob, Avatar, and Sonic are all properties of Paramount.
Right.
Paramount also owns Star Trek, and this isn't just because I'm rewatching The Next Generation and I really want to play with a Worf card. I promise it's not just that. It would be so sick if they did that, just for me specifically.
It would be cool.
Star Trek Universes Beyond would be 10 Lord of the Rings, for me personally.
As somebody who's never played a Final Fantasy game, but has been playing through the Octopath Traveler games, I am like, Square Enix, come on! I know it's not going to be you can't, like, the chaser's going to be worse than the shot here, but like, can we get Octopath with our little 8-bit guy? Come on, like, I know it's
the chaser's always worse,
but I think Dragon Ball would be like the most realistic. Like, Pokemon's a non-starter. Like, we can't have Pokemon. But, like, I think Dragon Ball is the most, like, even if it's, like, a 0% chance, I think Dragon Ball is the one that could compete with Final Fantasy.
That would be big.
I think that's true. So do you think it has to be something with international appeal, DJ?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it does make sense that it would need to have a lot of appeal in Japan, at least, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think what American stuff is really popular in Japan.
Baseball.
What about, like,
Shohei Ohtani.
I mean, so... As someone who didn't really care that much for baseball until recently, the baseball Planeswalker cards are pretty cool.
Baseball is bigger in Japan. I don't think, like, people who don't know about this don't know about this. Baseball is bigger in Japan, and it's not just Shohei Ohtani, than like it is anywhere in the world, including the United States. Like, the MLB is like, the entire country of Japan it's like hitting Japan culturally in a way that it's a matter of national pride, because they have like a handful of very good players, and a lot of them play for the Dodgers specifically now. Like, it's
the problem.
I don't know, like, the real world of sports. Like, if we start talking about, like, what if we get a secret lair from the Super Bowl champions? I'm not joking on that crap.
Yeah. I agree with you. I just think that it's really tough for the average baseball fan to convert to being a Magic fan, whereas it's a much shorter leap for Final Fantasy or Dragon Ball or Star Trek.
Yeah. I mean, that said, like, baseball cards are huge.
Yes.
People, like, how hard is it to flip them over? Like,
the question then becomes, are you just making a collectible product at that point?
Right,
like,
exactly. Are you just skinning the cards? Yeah.
Right. I also think it is tougher to put real people with their real names on Magic cards. Like,
yeah, it would have to be a secret layer release thing for sure, not an actual set or whatever.
And I mean, a secret layer release that you had to go to like a Mariners game to get would be awesome, actually. I think that'd be sick.
I mean, look, they do exclusive drops at Magic Cons. What's to say that Magic is exactly like that's a great point, Cass. Like, this is exactly what we've been talking about, and what Wizards has like been talking about kind of like quietly. Like, We need to reimagine how big Magic the Gathering can be.
Give me a fucking King Griffey Jr. secret layer that I have to go to a Mariners game to get. Like, I'm
Holy-
there.
Holy,
Yeah.
like that's local to Wizards. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
People always ask, like, why Wizards do a KEXP crossover on a secret layer? And
Exactly.
it's because the KEXP office is, like, I don't know, 6 blocks from Wizards headquarters or something. Maybe not that close, but, like,
I think
yeah,
that.
they love doing local stuff.
And look, you'd have incredible amounts of detractors across the internet
Yep.
for the enshittification of Magic, the Fortniteification of Magic. But like, I don't care, man. You put 20, 30,000 people Magic cards in front of them. Like, come on. Like, do you want more people to play the game because you think the game is good or not?
On that point, actually, thinking about 30,000 Magic players in an arena, Pokemon Worlds happened this weekend, and they got an
Yes.
entire like sports stadium arena packed
Yes.
to the gills with people for their world's their world's finals.
And they had the
way Pokemon
board.
does- They had the board. Like, you were playing the Pokemon TCG, and beneath the players, like the whole stage, was a screen that had which Pokemon were in play.
Yeah.
And like the attacks would animate on the board.
It
Like,
was so
Pokemon
cool.
was properly esports. Like, it wasn't quite League Worlds level or whatever, but like it was something that I turned on my TV and the first words out of my mouth were Magic could never.
Well, the Magic doesn't have that budget. I don't know what those
Correct.
boards cost, but I'll tell you that like they've experimented with them at like the NBA level, for instance.
Yep.
Like one of the dreams of the NBA is to have to be able to sell what's the word, flexible advertising on their courts, not just
Yeah.
we'll put your thing here. It's we'll give you 30 seconds during a high profile break. Because like at the All-Star game, they were experimenting with these courts that could like light up and stuff when players were on them. And that right now it doesn't mimic a court well enough that the players feel comfortable with it. But like give it
Someday.
give it another 10 years, But anyway, I think that kind of I don't know what that thing cost for Pokemon, but I think Magic could never for some reasons that are financially related.
Pokemon is currently in their oh my god we're esports era, and like they're creating a new convention to attach to Worlds every year. They're making an entirely new game for their video game championships to be played on.
All
Like, Pokemon is investing in organized play because they know that it is a spectacle they can use to sell their lifestyle brand. Magic doesn't have a lifestyle brand yet. If the Magic lifestyle brand becomes all of your favorite guys in one place, that is something that they could package and sell. Now, whether that's good for Magic, whether that's good for people like me who want to play with my cards from 1995 or whatever, whether that's good for game stores, I don't know. But I do think it is something that they could do, and it's something that I'm on the lookout for.
All right. Well, and you know what you should be on the lookout for? It's these breaking bulks we're going to give you right now.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
I have one that I think is unguessable.
Ugh. Always are for you.
It's from a real set, too.
Okay.
This card was only printed in Commander 2020, which is the Ikoria one.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's a black creature that is rare.
I can kind of envision the art of all of the black rares in that set.
Does it have
Is like
mutate?
No,
is it like a big insecty kind of looking guy?
it's a human.
I have no.
Oh, a black human.
Does it have to do with insects?
Is it the bounty hunter or bounty counters guy?
No.
Yes. We don't know. It is probably unguessable.
Yeah, I want to. I feel like I know this set so well. So it's a human. It's from the Mardu deck. The Mardu deck had.
Based on me reading this card, it does seem like it would be in the Martyr deck. I don't actually know.
Oh,
if
but
it
it's
is or
in,
not, but
it's got to be in the Soul type. No, if it's, you don't actually know. Okay. I should know this because I opened like 500 of these decks. As did every vendor who was doing anything in 2020.
Yep. Ikoria is such a black hole. And then like Mechanic of Companion was just such a black stain. That is just a...
Is this the creature that gives your humans death touch when they're attacking? Is that a card? Okay.
maybe
I got
that's a
nothing
card, but
then.
it's not this card. Daring Fiend Bonder is a 4-mana 5/1 with haste. It has to attack every turn, And at sorcery speed, you can exile it from your graveyard to put an indestructible counter on any creature.
It's actually from the Sultai deck.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh, is the Sultai deck just all like counters and like flying death touch counters or whatever? Okay.
That was the set where type count, like ability counters were introduced.
Yeah. I remember that.
This is part of the cycle with Slippery Bog Bonder, another favorite of mine.
Yeah, that card is cool.
Yeah.
This card is gone up in price since last year.
It's like $1.
Yeah.
And you'll find it in bulk rares, and then you list it for $2 or $2.99, and eventually it will sell with something else.
Almost anything with the word counters on it has been popping off since Final Fantasy. All right.
This is actually a really... Oh, good.
Go ahead.
Eh.
Okay, that's fine. All right, I'll follow up with another black card. I have a black uncommon from one of my favorite sets of the past several years. Probably like top 2. Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
Oh, I get
So black uncommon?
Yeah.
So Deep Cavern Bats is
No, I'm
too
sorry.
easy, right?
No. Black common.
Black common. Is it Tithing Blade?
No. That card's cool.
Is it...
I love that card.
1/2 flying death touch haste or whatever, like the
No,
words
not a
down?
creature.
It's not a creature.
It is $1.25. I'm sorry, it's $1.82. It's a
Does it have
$2
the
foil. It's
same
$1.75 market price.
Is that the descend mechanic?
No,
Okay.
it is one of those staple magic effects that are always worth $1. A classic breaking bulk, if you.
I played limited on this set too. I feel so stupid.
I play several of these in my Deadpool deck,
Is it a
along with
murder?
like not dead after alls. No,
Oh, so it's the feigned death of the set.
no. I'm saying I play it alongside cards like that. It is not a feigned death effect.
Is it
I
like
go with not dead after all for that effect when I name it after.
I yield, but let me look it up and see if I can figure out what it is myself first. I love the cheating portion of this game.
It's the cheating portion of the game used to be so obvious because people would just be like,
Right. But I just say that I'm doing it.
"That's way better." Yeah. Everyone could tell. Everyone could tell. Jason's eyes just drift off screen for about 10 seconds as the light shine, the brightness flashing changes.
Is it Greedy Freebooter?
No.
Not a creature.
Oh, you said it's not a creature. Fuck.
You sacrifice Greedy Freebooter to this.
Fanatical Offering?
Yeah.
That card's almost $2? That's crazy.
It's like $1. It's $1.20. It just spiked, but it's $1.25 market price. $2 foil.
What?
It's
I guess I gotta go break my bulk.
Fanatical Offering, 2 mana black instant as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards, and create a map token. I don't know if it's specifically Deadpool. It actually looks like it's spiked here with Edge of Eternities most recently, after possibly a Deadpool spike as well. I don't know. I play these kind of cards in Deadpool and then bring back Deadpool with Not Dead After All or whatever. So I don't know if that's the first thing I see here, but this kind of effect is always like, it's kind of like the big score type cards in red. Like that effect just always has a chance to be a breaking bulk.
I think Edge of Eternities had a lot of things that involved creating artifact tokens, sacrificing artifacts, and this kind of just this actually probably fits quite well into the Jund Commander deck that came out with Edge.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
The Jund Sacrifice deck. Deadly Dispute's one of my favorite cards. This is very similar, no exceptions there. I think Altar's Reap is underplayed too, so
Deadly Dispute
loving
is
this.
the best one by far, in my opinion. That's the one that makes a treasure token, right?
Yeah.
I think that card's actually, I could be wrong, but I think that card's actually like Pauper playable as well.
Deadly
Cool
Dispute.
card.
Oh yeah. Deadly Dispute's been a part of like several problematic Pauper decks recently.
All right, DJ, what do you got?
Oh, DJ's already gone.
Oh, sorry, Cass, what do you got?
I have a Edge of Eternity's blue common. Corbin's probably gonna get this.
An Edge of Eternity's blue common?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I didn't know there were blue commons in the set worth money. Is it a null?
It's not a null. It's not a reprint. Edge of Eternities is the only printing of this card.
Is it the Man Harmonicon?
No, that's a rare.
Okay. I don't know.
I think I know what this is, but I don't know the name of the card.
It's a non-creature.
It's Ichor Wellspring.
Kind of,
Oh,
yeah.
the cryo thingy.
Cryogen Relic, yeah.
Yeah, the card's so good.
Shouting this card out because it kind of sells for around like a quarter to 50 cents on TCG Player and has a buy list of 30 cents currently, and they're buying up to 832 of them. Whenever there's a common in the newest set that is worth anything, I think it's worth shutting out because commons just do have trouble becoming worth something. Cryogen Relic is the strongest version of this effect we've ever seen because it includes the leaves the battlefield clause, not dies. You can do things like put this underneath your Pinnacle Star Cage, pick up your Pinnacle Star Cage with your Nurturing Pixie to get the triggers again.
I
It also just has like
players asking me for
Yep.
this because they can ghostly flicker it.
Yep. I mean, this card is super strong. It's the strongest version of this effect we've ever seen. So
There you go. Everyone's bulk has been broken. As a reminder, we find all of these, or at least a lot of these, on MTGstocks.com. Generous sponsor of this podcast who've been with us. They supported us for a long time. And we appreciate everything that they have done for us over the years. And these breaking bulks were fire this week, I have to say. All right, before we get out of here, before we move on to the picks of the week, we know you're all anxiously waiting for. We do want to talk about some other good value that's coming up. Now, I'm going to say the words Avatar, and you're going to get a little confused because that set, you're going to be like, isn't Spider-Man next? Doesn't Avatar not release for months? Well, you'd be right, but we are getting a lot of Avatar cards. There's also a Festival in a Box that just got previewed that I think we're going to talk about as good value. So if either of you want to...
So you...
yeah.
Was great value then, wasn't it?
It went online yesterday.
Oh, went yesterday. Shit, I set myself a reminder too, and then I didn't do.
this is the first Festival in a Box that I overslept to get because I was so used to them dropping at noon because I used to live on the East Coast. But now I live on the West Coast, and I woke up at like 9:06. I slept in. I was feeling great. Roll over to my computer. I'm like, oh, I got plenty of time. Get my Festival in a Box. Q says I'm waiting for an hour and 20 minutes, and then it sells out. Classic.
Unlucky.
Time zones. They're real evil. We should get rid of time zones. Everyone should be on me time.
I really did set myself a reminder, and then I don't know what I was thinking. I was probably just asleep.
That's pretty
unfortunate. Funny. Well, this Festival in a Box was good value. It's interesting that they're still doing them because if you remember, this was like when we were in the COVID times and they were starting to bring conventions back, and people were like, "You can't do that. I can't go." So they said, "Well, we're going to create a product for these people. It's a Festival in a Box," and I guess they just kept it going. And this one was great.
So historically, they have contained mystery boosters, 1 or 2, plus a secret lair, plus some special cards, like a convention exclusive test print card or whatever they want to call them, the little unknown things. This one had the Ur-Dragon, which is quite good, and Mystery Booster 2 has consistently held value for a very long time. The hits you can get out of these boxes are very, very rare and very, very hard to get just in general. The supply is very low on the Future Sight foils and the weird, I don't know what you want to call them, like the Acorn cards, the cards, like the Power 9 Bird, Oracle of the Alpha, just cards that are very, very hard to find that pay for your whole box are in these boxes. And they are also just chock full of good list reprints that will just be good additions to your decks and stuff like that. So Mystery Booster 2, I believe boxes on TCG for Mystery Booster 2 right now are $230 and expected value is like $210 or $220. It's close. The crackability of these boxes is close to parity, and that's even before you calculate in all of the other air quotes free stuff you get by buying the Festival in the Box. So I mean, you do have to pay tax in the box. I believe it's like $220, and you have a customer limit per 2 per order. I made 2 orders personally for 2 each, so I bought 4 festivals, and it's like around $900 for all after all said and done with that. So
quad festing.
I have purchased 2 per for or whatever the max allotment was for one account for every Festival in a Box so far, and without a lot of effort, I've made a little bit of money each time. And
generally,
I feel like
you
put a
can
little bit
just Yeah, generally you can just like flip them to other vendors for 250 or 240, and just
Right.
if you have floating capital lying around, you can turn your $220 into 240 or $50.
Right.
You are paid the $20 to $30 for checking your phone alarm at the right time, not being Corbin.
That's correct. All right, well, let's what about Avatar? Like, Spider-Man will be out at some point, Avatar will be out some point after that, but we have had a lot of Avatar previews. I don't know if we necessarily want to get into those, but like, what are we thinking about what we're seeing from Avatar right now?
This set looks really cool. I didn't think I was mechanically gonna like a lot of it until I started really looking at it. I don't know. The waterbending mechanic being just like activated abilities with convoke / improvise stapled onto it, super cool. I think the earthbending mechanic's a little bit weak and boring, but like I'm sure there's gonna be some exciting cards that we haven't seen yet.
Toth seems to be the breaker of existing cards, specifically because she lets you make things go into exile and come back, which is previously a no-no zone. So you have artifacts that exile themselves that are will immediately come back into play because they are because Toph's in play. That's how that works. So I've sold through a lot of things like reverse the Aeons and artifacts that are like you get to use this once, and with Toph you get to use them a lot more than that. So those cards pretty much already spiked, as far as I know.
I thought when we first saw, because remember, I think it might have been as far back as the Pro Tour even, I don't know. But at some point they previewed water bending or whatever, fire bending, whatever the first one they showed was, and they just showed us the name of the keyword, not what it did.
We saw Aang.
That's right.
Months ago, and it said if you have done a water bending, earth bending, air bending, and fire bending in the same turn, then he flips.
And then I saw, flash forward a few months, I saw whatever the first one that came out was, right? The first bending mechanic. I thought that they were all going to be that, and I thought they were just flavored differently based on which of the 5 factions they were going to be. It was like an embarrassingly long amount of time comparatively.
Corbin, what's the 5th faction?
I don't know. Earth,
there is
water, fire. The Fire Nation. The Nation attacked. The Fire Nation attacked. Is it them?
The fifth faction is the people who are unaligned with any nation.
Did I get it right? The Fire Nation attacked.
There's 4 nations.
Damn it. Whatever, man. Clearly, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it.
Watch the show.
You should watch the show. Speaking of the show, I think it's super cool they're doing a showcase card where it's just a frame from every episode.
Oh, that is
one
cool.
frame from each episode.
Is that how they're doing that? That's cute.
So yeah, the Great Henge is the Banyan tree, and then Force of Negation is spoiler alert, Corbin. Don't look at Force of Negation. Spoilers.
Oh no. Okay. Well, you know what? I saw it, but I just didn't even process whatever I looked at, so I'm unspoiled still. Yeah.
Perfect.
I think that it is very good of them, and we'll see how much cachet they end up with this type of thing, blah, blah, blah. I saw someone say something like, oh, they're just trying to print Great Henge into nothing, right? Because they gave us the Party Tree, which was like a turbo expensive version of the Great Henge in Lord of the Rings, and that was after there was already $150 like special foiling of it from when it originally came out, and now there's another one, and like it is going to really kind of like we talk about how some of these special releases or whatever are like secret lair, or I'm sorry, like reserved lists ish. And while it is true that like the Party Tree is reserved listed in that sense, they could also, whatever this new one's called, the Bunyan Tree. What's it called? Is that right?
The Banyan Tree.
Yeah, that.
Just for reference,
I don't know.
I'm posting the price chart for the Great Henge in the voice text channel here, and if we can put it on screen, that'd be awesome.
This is exactly what I want to get to, because this is the as if you're seeing on your screen here, people just want to play with the Magic cards, don't they?
Just draw a line going straight up into the right corner, and that's approximately what the price curve for the Great Henge looks like. They're just trying to print into nothing. Do you want cards to be cheap, or do you want them to be valuable?
Exactly.
Huh?
And this is an expensive card. So like it's the perfect kind of card to target for these really one-off sort of highlightable things. Like no offense to Fatal Push or whatever or Farseek in Final Fantasy, but to me, if I open, I want that art. If I'm a Final Fantasy card, I probably want that art on something like the Great Hinge. Now I get you want to put one in every pack, etc. But like,
there's got to
I think
be
that
some
they do a
stinkers,
good job.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's also one of those
Anyway,
things where if they don't reprint the Great Hinge every 2 years, the card's $100.
Exactly, and that's
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
This is the way that they are hitting the reprint.
Yep.
Very well said. All right, on the way out of here this week, of course, we want to leave you with some picks of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Courtesy of MTG Stocks, where you should go check out the premium side of the website. And you can now toggle between there are new options as far as the currency you want to set to default to. So every day the website is adding new tools to make it easier to stay up to date on your Magic financial information, including these picks of the week.
I have a pick of the week, and its name is Corpse Dance. It is printed in Tempest. It is only printed in Tempest. You're not going to find this card anywhere other than Tempest. You want to know why? Because the first 4-5 words of this card's rule text are put the top creature card. The top graveyard order matters with this weird ass instant that has buyback 2. This card was very affordable for a very long time. It spiked to like $40 something in early 2021. I don't know if that was just like a COVID era just scarcity spike, but it has since settled back down to around 20. It was 18, 19 for a while, and now it is cresting above 20. It is historically very difficult for cards to go from like $19 to $23. They normally go from 19 to like 30 because of just how shipping and TCG Player Direct and all these other things work. So I think that as the supply of Corpse Dance dries up, because people will just need them for Cube or Commander or what have you, they're just hard to find because, again, Tempest was before 9/11, and I think Corpse Dance will go back to $40, and it might go down from that. We might see another little roller coaster, but that means you have plenty of time to buy a couple copies for 20-ish and get out of them when they spike.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go in with a really broad pick here because I thought about narrowing it down to a few cards, but a lot of them have obviously already started to spike or spiked sort of the first time. But I'm just going to bring up ally cards as we talked about Avatar here, right? If you go look at Zendikar or any of the sets with allies in them, most of them are showing an overnight spike, right? We've talked about that in the past. So if you missed that boat, I'm sorry. But the boat is not all the way gone yet because Spider-Man's going to come out. And at least when Spider-Man comes out, by that point, probably all of Avatar will already have been revealed. The point is there is going to be a part of time where these cards are going to come back down. So really more if you are somebody who actually wants to play an ally deck with Avatar or something in the future, don't panic buy your cards this week, but keep an eye on, these the Kabira Evangels or the Seagate Lore Masters of the world going back down in price some over the next couple weeks before they go back up when the set actually releases 3 months from now.
Random note on that kind of stuff, and this is true not just for allies, but for asset classes as a whole when things spike from a very long time ago. Check what pre-constructed decks these things came in, and I don't always mean the Commander pre-constructed decks that have a set symbol or that have their own set code. There are pre-constructed decks that are just 60 cards and that are Challenger decks or Pioneer, like all these weird.
A great example of this is Turn Timber Ranger foils are way more common than Seagate Lore Master foils specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because of the way they were
the
released.
Intro deck. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There are intro decks. Verdant Catacombs and Bloodghast are two cards that are very famously just in a event deck, and they don't have a different set symbol, but they feel a little bit different. So if
they
you're
do feel
good
a
at
little
the game,
different.
you can tell you know what you're talking about. But things like Seagate Lore Master and other allies are probably in other intro decks and just products. And as new things cause old things to spike, you should always be checking these very, very old products if you have a general inkling of the era or the time. You don't want to spend all the time on this. but an example is back during, I want to say it was a Pauper spike, but Shader's Edict went really crazy several years ago to like $20 a piece, and it's in a pre-con from Torment. So I just went to eBay and bought all the 15 copies of this Torment pre-con that each come with 2 Shader's Edicts and a foil Invasion era basic or whatever.
DJ is the reason the market becomes efficient. Like, literally, that's what you're doing.
Yep.
I'm teaching other people to do the same thing.
Well, yeah, but there's no negativity implied there. Like,
I know.
There's a very small window where someone will make the money that there is to be made, and DJ is giving real world examples of how it is there to be made. Like,
it's not always there, but you should at least do some diligence when big spikes across formats happen.
All right. Well, go ahead.
My pick of the week this week kind of already got taken by Corbin.
Uh-oh.
I was going to suggest specifically to look at the red allies from Original Zendikar, because the big thing driving the spikes right now is the new Katara.
Yeah.
The Bant legend that is Panorama for ally triggered abilities, but there are allies in red in Avatar, and things like Murasa Pyromancer and Causal Warlord, who I also believe was a pre-con foil.
It was.
Haven't necessarily spiked as much yet. Tuk Tuk Scrapper is one I was going to shout out from Worldwake, but that one's sort of thinning out at the $1 to $5 range and is sort of looking to be a $20 foil. But realistically, if you look for the things that haven't spiked yet, we have a trend starting because people saw Katara and they bought the obvious ones. But when they realize they need to fill out their deck with more allies,
right,
these are the kinds of things that can be good.
Tuk Tuk Scrapper is the kind of card you read and you're like, was that printed in 2024? Wow, no, that card is 15 years old. That card just kills people sometimes.
I played that card in
this card. That's a badge of honor that you will earn someday.
I played that card in Standard.
When you realize
I played that card in Legacy.
Hell yeah.
Legacy Goblins, yeah. You can if you Ghostway this and a bunch of allies. Sometimes you just die if you have some artifacts in play.
There was a moment in time in that Standard format, and I was a really big like Standard grinder at the time, where like the best player I know and like my extended network of Magic players, it was like part of Chris Van Meter's group for the Boomers Among Us, but they like straight up broke allies in Standard, and then like a week later went 9-0 at day 1 of a GP, and I was like the first time in my life I was like not a part of designing the deck or anything, but like I was in on the know and I had the list and I was playing Tuk Tuk Scrappers at the perfect moment. It was very fun.
My first budget Standard deck I ever played at a real tournament was Abzan colored allies, and the game plan was to mimic that your Balaged Thief, I think the card's name is, the discard one.
Yeah,
and
that one was great.
You would lock them out of their draw step forever. That was your end goal.
That's so quaint. I love
Balaged Thief 50
old
cents
Magic.
still, by the way. Yeah.
Mimic Vat was one of those cards that was so cool in its time because it did so much. And that's just your average rare now.
Yeah. They just don't appreciate the Cobblade mirrors like they used to.
They really don't. Kids these days do not appreciate the fact that, if you would actually Fate Sealed 3 turns ago, you would have won.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for us here on Brainstorm Brewery. I got to say, this was a great to have the three of us together again and a very fun episode. So hope everyone out there enjoyed it. Remember, you can support us and importantly, our editors by going to patreon.com/BSB. We have some great benefits there. And it is super important to being able to produce this podcast as we have now for, I don't know what we're at, 600, 700 something episodes, like 13 years in.
But if you can make 700 podcast episodes, you can get caught up on One Piece.
If I hadn't done this podcast, maybe I would have.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're all going to quit the podcast, and we're going to go watch One Piece.
So we're going to do a One Piece, which just started, yes, we should monetize the One Piece content at that point. Maybe we can do a
true.
One Piece content, One Piece podcast.
There's no point in enjoying something in life unless you monetize it. And remember that, kids. If you can't turn your hobbies into a career, what's the point? Thanks for listening to Brainstorm Brewery, everybody. I'm your host, Caslin. Join us next week for more tips on how to ruin your life.
I will be in SCG Con Orlando and then Rochester, New York for the Commander Seal as the fan.
Bye.